Alrighty, so I just received notification that the rock sliders are in for the Prado. Now, here's a good example of how the courier system in Australia is absolutely cooked. So, Brisbane, Victoria, alright, so it cost $200 to get them from Brisbane to the depot. Now, the depot's a bit over 11 k's away from my house. They wanted an extra $200 to deliver the final 11 kilometers. So $400 delivery from Brisbane, and I've just saved $200 by driving 11 kilometers to go pick it up. Absolute ridiculous. Now let's talk about the sliders for a little bit. I'm not going to mention any names. I've had these on order for a very long time, well past their expected date, essentially what they promised, and I'll flash up when I pull them out. I'm hoping I can get the stickers off them because I'm not going to be promoting the company, because their customer service, I'm going to have to bleep this out, is absolutely house. So after allocated time of what they said it was going to take to make, I ring them up and they said, I'll put you on hold. So on hold, 5 minutes later they come back, yeah, we'll have to call you back. I'm like, well, have you started to make them, or are they made, or have you lost the order, what's the go? They're like, we don't know. So they ring me back about an hour later. Yeah, they'll probably get made next week, maybe. I'm like, well, are they getting made next week, or what? Because you're already past your due date of like delivery. Yeah, probably made next week. Okay, so 2 weeks later I ring them up and they're like, yeah, we're still waiting on the tread plate for it. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me that like 2 weeks ago when I rang up and you said that they hadn't been made yet? So what part of the 2 weeks haven't you ordered all the parts in? Oh yeah, well, we're expecting it today and it should be shipped out later today. Alright, so 5 days later, here we are. I'm going to pick them up. Even though it took 2 days in shipment, so I don't know when they shipped it, what, but they'd want to be good, put it that way, because their customer service, holy crap. Like, I found that a lot lately with good products that have been manufactured. Their customer service is absolutely terrible. Now, in saying that, I do have a problem with the drawers that I picked up, which I think I fixed, and that was down to a whole bunch of what they call their final checks that didn't take place. So essentially, the right-hand runner for the fridge slide was never tightened up. There's 3 bolts that hold the main rail on. Let's wait for this car. And yeah, they weren't done up. So it's an 8mm lock nut, and they were just done up finger tight. Now I know they were done up finger tight because with a lock nut there's a nylon thread in it, and that nylon thread hadn't even been run through, so they've never been tightened up and they haven't backed off. When I spoke to them about it, they're like, oh, it could have backed off. I'm like, it's a nylon nut. I said, you guys manufacture it. Have you ever seen a nylon nut that's not really under any pressure, like just back itself off? Like all 3 of them? Oh no, I see what you're saying. And they said, oh, we need to send us a video of it, because we need to find out what part of the manufacturing process it wasn't done. I'm like, well, I can tell you right now, the assembly process, the inspection process, and the final inspection process, none of that was done because it would have got picked up. Oh, okay, I can see what you're saying. So I just don't know where these companies are trying to get off. Like, it might sound like I'm having a bit of a whinge about it, but you pay what, $4,500 for stuff. And these sliders also aren't cheap, and they just sort of palm it off like, yeah, like when I went to pick the drawers up, like, you shouldn't have to wait that long if you're the only customer there. They should be like, yep, no worries, you paid for it, I'll go and get it for you, bam, you're off, have a good time. But just waiting around, it just seems like they've got your money, they don't give a shit. I've found that a lot lately with other companies. Like, I'm trying to buy Australian made for all this stuff. It's not necessarily the best. Like, there's some things that I refuse to buy Australian made because it's way more expensive and it's less quality. But you know, try and do it, as everyone should with their own countries, or support local, that sort of thing. But sometimes it's just not worth it. I'm finding that a lot here. It's like, yeah, they want all the money for the products, but the backup support, the initial support, is very, very much lacking. Especially with how long you have to wait for things. So, in saying that, the other day I ordered the rear bar for the Prado. That was what, 4,100 bucks or something like that. Now that's got a 14 to 16 week wait. So it's currently 4th of April. I won't see that till July sometime. And that is made an hour away up the road. So I'll have to go there and pick it up, which I don't have a problem with, but you know, it's an hour away and I've got to wait 14 to 16 weeks. Yeah. Like, fair enough if they're making big batch stuff, which they're not. It's all custom made stuff. So hopefully that's good. Like, that's going to take a bit of assembly on the car. I have to chop some things, which I'm not worried about because the whole front end's pretty much been chopped anyway, by putting the bull bar on. The bull bar is the only thing that I've had so far that's come in under time frame. That's an ARB bull bar. They make a lot. There was initially a 4-month wait on that, and I got that in 3. So yeah, all right. I'll get this from the post office, and then I'll have to go to the depot. Yeah. Yeah, I just sold it. Right. Oh, yeah. All right. All done. At least they're packaged good. All right, I'll give them that. They're packaged good. So let's get them home and open them up. All right, let's go get these out of the van. One thing that's got going for it at the moment is they look to be well packaged. Now I think what, about 35 kilos each, 34 kilos. Should be okay. Just gotta get in the grab of it somehow, like that somehow. All right. Oh, they're not light. All right, so now that I've spent the previous 5 minutes looking for my box cutter, which one to open first? Let's say this one. I still want to get these little brass staples anywhere. Cool. Now I don't know which one's passenger, which one's driver's side yet, but we shall work it out. No big deal. Everything looks good to go. I actually think this is the passenger side. I think there's 2 mounts up front, 1 mount at the rear. So all nicely packaged. Pop that there for a second, so get rid of the box, and we'll have a proper look at it. Everything's pretty much pre-assembled. There's your bolts. But let's take this wrapping off and have a look at the deck. It's supposed to be what's called a rhino deck, like a tread deck. So far, from what they're lacking in customer service, they've made up in manufacturing skills. So yeah, just need to fix the customer service side, and I think they'll be good to go. So as you can see, you might see there the name of the company, That's about as good as you're going to get because that sticker is coming off. Not a sponsor of me, so it's got to go. Unfortunately, if you want to be a sponsor, I'll keep your sticker on. But that's how we roll. I'll bring the camera over and give you a closer look at this stuff. So that's pretty much how they're going to sit on the car too. So they are angled. I wanted angled ones because the car obviously bends. The car obviously bends left and right. Pretty much non-slip top. Yeah. Now I need to unbolt the ones on the car, slot these up, and bolt them in. Should be fun. Okay, to take the OEM side steps off, it's not very exciting. There's like two 12mm bolts there, two here and two up the front. So I'll undo them and then we'll work out what's going on, because the chassis rail here is where the other ones have to bolt onto, so like up and around. So you got to move the wires out of the way and all that fun stuff. So yeah, got to be gentle putting the new ones in, that's for sure. So just on the passenger side here, this is one for the passenger. OEM one is removed. There's 6 12mm bolts that have come off. Just put them back in. Now we have 6 16mm bolts. So all these have to come out. This slides up over the chassis. Now on this side of the chassis on the car is where all the wires run. So you've got to be really careful when you push it up that you get underneath those wires. So I won't bore you with all this, but I'll take these out and then we'll start lining it up underneath the car. On the driver's side, there's 3 bits of fuel hose that need to go somewhere. So whether they have to go in between here, I don't know. It's just 3 pieces. It says for driver's side. There's no instructions on where to put them, but I'm sure I'll find out. Okay, side steps are finally on. Yeah, that's what they look like, nice angled. They were an absolute nightmare to fit. For something that's so easy, just push them up to the chassis and bolt them on. Problem is, underneath the chassis here, there's a whole bunch of wires, cables and that are just completely in the way of the bolts. So you got to push and prod and get them out of the way. The passenger side is the worst because there's a lot more cables and everything running along there. Driver side's not too bad. You only have to put some rubber tubing or split tubing around the brake lines when you put them on. So yeah, had this passenger side one on and off, and you got to get it in exactly the right spot, otherwise you got no chance. So underneath here, you'll see there, you'll see the rear bar here where the seam is, goes just behind that. If you don't have that there, yeah, good luck, it's not going to fit at all. But yeah, so nice thick. So they're made very well, but just a little dusty. Made very well, but yeah, they don't sponsor me, so yeah, you just have to work out where I got them from the sticker you saw before. There we have it in the sunlight. Sliders.